And moderates in the Democratic Party. We've seen these angry town halls, the plummeting ratings for President Obama and Congress. The polls indicate a lot of voters are not happy with the government spending so much money in this economy and also with so much government intervention. Two members of Congress join us now, California Democrat Adam Schiff and Indiana Republican Dan Burton. Good morning to you both. Thanks for being here.
Morning.
Congressman Schiff, I want to start with you and put up on the screen, if we can, a comment by Dan Gerstein, who is a writer, also a guy who worked for Senator Lieberman for a long time. He said he is encouraging Democrats to, quote, stop attacking the public you're trying to woo, and please stop pointing fingers at the Republicans. Yes, they're being opportunists and obstructionists, but they will continue to get away with it as long as they can make arguments that resonate with the midsection of the electorate. Put out a bill, one bill that the majority of the American people can get behind. Remember, they voted last fall for change, not blame. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, I certainly agree with the sentiments that you just described. I don't know that I would agree with his whole column, but I don't hear Democrats or really Republicans blaming the public. That tends to be a losing argument, and I don't hear too many people making it.
I just want to interrupt you for a second, Congressman, and I will let you finish. He's pretty clear about pointing out Nancy Pelosi specifically in her statement that she put out, calling some of these people at town hall meetings un-American.
Well, I don't think Nancy Pelosi was blaming the public. I do think she was pointing a finger at some of the real belligerent tactics at town halls of hanging people in effigy, trying to shout down speakers. I think that's what she was referring to, not blaming the public at large about health care reform. And I will say this, I think, frankly, during the August recess, not a whole lot has changed in the Democratic Party. There's still great consensus on moving forward with health care reform, on covering the uninsured, on bringing health care costs down. Probably the bigger change has been among the GOP, in the sense that I think some GOP members have been emboldened by, you know, the conservative base to oppose health care reform wholesale rather than trying to work towards a compromise. But I also want to say, you know, you mentioned at the outset Senator Kennedy and what influence this will have. I think it will have a real big impact and a detrimental one, because he was a voice within the Democratic Party that could say, in terms of a bipartisan compromise, if we can get there, that this is a good deal. This is a deal that we should take, and that he would have the bona fides, he would have the respect where his message would be received well among Democrats. You need someone like that in the Democratic Party. You need someone like that in the Republican Party, and we've lost a real champion that can talk to the Democratic caucus and get to yes in terms of a bipartisan compromise. We need a voice like that on the GOP side as well, but we lost a real Democratic champion today.
Congressman Burton, you've been through debates on the Hill for years. Your thoughts on that? Where is this debate going?
Well, first of all, the people don't want this public option. They don't want the government coming between them and their doctor. They don't want the rationing of health care that takes place in Europe and Canada and elsewhere. They don't want to wait for months for an MRI if they need it right away. And that's what's going to happen if we have this public option. And that's what the Democrats are pushing very hard for. We do have an alternative. And that alternative solves the problems. It creates a safety net for the people that really need health insurance that don't have it right now, but it doesn't kill the goose that laid the golden egg. And for Adam to say, you know, that the Republicans are implied that the Republicans are an impediment, they have a 50-vote majority in the House. They have a filibuster-proof Senate, and we aren't getting any input whatsoever. They're making all the decisions, and they keep turning around and blaming us for not being willing to compromise. They don't listen to us. And the American people are very upset because they don't want socialized medicine in this country.
Congressman Schiff, what about Joe Lieberman's idea, the senator's idea, of moving slowly but surely on this and doing this piece by piece to try to get the public more comfortable with what we're seeing?
Yeah. Well, you know, we're gonna do the best we can. We need to try to reform the healthcare system, and I think we want to do as much as possible as soon as we can, because frankly, healthcare costs are going up.